Hi, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case. Welcome if you're currently here. I appreciate it if you're in the live chat. So yeah, after recovering from last night's dodgy video, as well as the depth and layers to it, I thought it's worth today still continuing the Dylan Rounds discussion, mentioning some interesting points and possible recent activity going on and some side theories which tie on from yesterday's video, okay? So make sure to stick around for this. I also have a surprise, okay? Later on, we will be revealing some of the activities some of the viewers get up to. You didn't think I knew? Oh, I do. So make sure to stick around for that, okay? So first of all, shout out to some of the people in the last live video premiere for their presence, such as, I even written down on my hand, man, so I wouldn't forget, Famous Op, Awesome Destroyer, 2 times, Weedleby, and Mystery Warrior for the super chats. It was like rapid action, almost as fast as my whipping, which is quite impressive. It just appeared left, right, and centre on the screen. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? Have I suddenly appeared in the church? Tyler, have you blessed me? Is the train coming my way? The Polar Express? Don't pass me, pick me up along the way. And it looks like I have had that experience. So that's all good. Very good of the people that did what they did last night, as well as the amount that were watching too and just being dodgy. As for one of the recent viewers, I can't remember their username, but they have blonde hair. They say they try to be on their best behavior. Well done. But
no holds barred here, okay?
You don't need to retract your claws, okay? You can spit hairballs out if you need to. If you want to be dodgy, you can. If you want to take the cheese away and put it in a mouse trap because you're some kind of sadistic psycho, feel free to do that. It's welcome, okay? So yeah, I think with that brushed aside, if you do want to take a look at the last video I did on Dylan Rounds, specifically Kurt Wadsworth, make sure to click the link down below in the pinned comment section, okay? And you can refer back to it if you want. What I will do now is a brief recap on the odd point, okay? Because take in mind, not everyone showed up at the same time, or some people were busy and had to go off somewhere and do stuff. Just like Stony. Oh, you're on Bella V's live at this moment of speaking. And I don't mean at this, I literally mean at this moment. I don't mean later on in the live video premiere, but ooh, made an appearance. Okay. And you're saying, oh, sorry, I had to go. I didn't see the nose twitch. Oh, you owe it to me.
Is that so?
Stony, you saying that I owe you a nose twitch? Let me just remind you something, Stony.
I don't know if you want it done in that voice. That sounds better to you. Can you relate better?
I don't know if you could understand that. Maybe you could. I don't know if you want the rough approach. Do you want it rough? The voice, I mean. I don't know. Try and talk in Bella V's voice.
Well, I don't know, man. But, I'll give you the nose twitch next time. Don't worry. It'll be fine, okay? But I'll tell you one thing. If you stuck around long enough, you would have seen that I did the nose twitch in the last video.
Too bad you missed it, but it is what it is. But don't worry, you will get the nose twitch. I will give it to you in the next video, okay? Even it'll be a small, little, delicate, dedicated one. Oh, where's my tissue? It's almost making me very emotional right now. So don't worry, it's okay. Stony, it's under control, just like many other things. So yeah, in general though, some people may have appeared, left, gone, disappeared. Joseph, sometimes turning up late, sometimes on time, sometimes leaving midstream, other times staying to the end. But I think due to the presence of Courtney in last video, I think it was too much to take, okay? It's understandable, Joseph. I mean, you know, if we keep pushing it and pushing it, maybe you might transition into Josephina and show your true self. Maybe that might happen someday. Now, anyway, one important point I want to make note of right now is, and this can apply for the future as well, future videos. If I just so happen to cover a long video like last night, which covers many different layers and depths, although it might be covered fairly well, the title may be vague, make sure to leave a comment on those videos if you believe a certain part needs to be covered individually, like a dedicated recap video on a certain point, observation, theory. You get what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. So the last video what I did, okay, titled Map Analysis, Kurt Wadsworth, something, and then tried titling it in the thumbnail as well, covering for someone, and it showed the three main guys. Not once in that title or thumbnail did I mention about the polygraph test, right? It was covered in the video, but you wouldn't have known about it until later in the video. Take in mind, the titles are limited to characters. You can only fit so much in. That's just how it is. So an example like that, the polygraph test discussion part might brush over people's shoulders because they didn't see that part, they didn't catch it, or they didn't watch all the way through because it was long. So something like that could be dedicated, recapped, reviewed, reanalyzed, whatever you want to call it, in a separate video. Just like how we've done previously with the crutch at Brenner's burnt down trailer, just like with the backhoe specifically of Kurt's, or supposedly Kurt's, because there's arguments against that, and etc. Okay, so this video is more of a relaxed one, so you don't have to worry. But as for future videos, if we go deep, feel free to leave a comment down below and just say, hey, can you cover this in a separate video? Or can you look back at it because it needs more attention or focus? Feel free to say that, okay? Does that make sense? So what I am going to do just briefly is almost like a recap, tying in with what I'm talking about from yesterday, okay? So that supposed call, I say suppose because it's not 100% for definite, kind of passed on, talked about in a way by Ty Corbyn, looked at that, possibilities, okay? Different scenarios, one or two, both ways, what order, okay? Exactly what part did they play, that sort of stuff. Then the polygraph test, okay? What I was suggesting was, okay, from what we know of and how it's gone, Kurt has not done a polygraph test, and it makes you think, that's a bit strange, right? Why not do it? You know, to try and help solve the case, the mystery, or to clear your own name, right? But maybe Kurt doesn't really care, okay? Or maybe he is too afraid. He feels like he will fail it regardless, whether he's drunk, whether he's on substance or not. He feels like he's got no chance, so it will incriminate him, right? And if we're tying it in with that possibility that he could be covering for someone, that could be revealed in the test. It incriminates him and it incriminates whoever he's covering for, if that was a possibility, right? So that's like my outlook on it, okay? Ty Corbyn seems kind of pissed in a way, like how, you know, Kurt hasn't participated. I don't know if it did happen or not, but I remember Ty Corbyn saying he was going to do a polygraph test himself and he had to travel a lot of distance. I'm not sure if that happened in the end, but Ty was willing to do that to prove his innocence or to clear up rumours of other things in between, right? So you get the idea. Now, I guess what we can also bring up is, I can't remember who left a comment now, it might be Mini-Me, maybe, talking, correct me if I'm wrong if it was someone else, that was mentioning about, you know, why, you know, other people should, you know, take the lie detector test, right? Candice Cooley, maybe other Montello locals, etc. Has Lance Kelly done a lie detector test for whatever reason? Has he? I mean, there's no harm, right? Candice Cooley just in rounds just for the sake of it. Like, if the police haven't cleared all these people's names, then technically they're still up for questioning and, you know, guessing yourself, right? Partially it's just down to how police have handled things, of course, but it's still up in the air for debate and talking about. But I was like, well, you know, if you're going to interview everyone, what, you're going to interview the animals as well? Do a bloody polygraph test with the local pigs? I mean, I can imagine the pigs would probably pass the detector test better than Kirk could, knowing that. But yeah, just one of those things, right? So yeah, that's just like my thoughts on the polygraph. Other people thinking that a wider range of those involved in the case should be interviewed, interrogated, questioned, and participate in the polygraph as well. I guess there's no harm, but it's one of those things where if it did happen, it's like, well, why did it not happen at the start? Once again, yet something else dragged out and delayed, right? So there's that. Now, moving on, ties in with a bit of Ty Corbin. Shack Lady has done a live stream just today, recent. I think it was last night. You know, you got to take in mind the time zone difference, right? But like, I woke up and I saw that she was doing her live stream. I think it was about 4 hours and 34 minutes in, and I think the total length of it is about 5 hours something. So a fairly long video, right? And yeah, just talking with Ty Corbin, whatever that might be about. I've not watched it myself yet. Have any of you? Feel free to leave your own thoughts in the chat, comment section, you know, as we do go along in this video, but also share your thoughts. If you have watched the Shack Lady's latest live stream, what did you think of it? Now, you know, we've seen it with others, like maybe Mob Crew Chris on the odd occasion, and Doug as well, when they've done those like interviews with Candice Cooley, okay? I've sat through, watched them, analysed, etc., given my own thoughts and opinions. I could try that with the Shack Ladies live stream with Ty Corbin, just see if anything of interest is mentioned, and then just give my thoughts about that stuff. That's a possibility. I guess the only problem is I've got to sit there for, what, like 5-6 hours straight and make notes. That's a little bit rough. I know you can put it on ×2 speed, but then they start talking too quick, and then you might not be able to hear them. You know, and I guess just structure to it. I mean, if it's like 5 hours long, but there's only like 20-30 minute portions of when Ty appears on and starts talking, then that's not too bad. Like with Jim Terry's live stream, one of them, which occurred maybe weeks ago now. It was like 2 hours long, maybe, just the same old stuff, okay, messing around. But then right at the end of the stream, Ty called in and then started talking about stuff and his plans for exploring Lucin, right? So yeah, if it is shortened in some way, or there's any portions to look into, I'll give it a try, okay? It's just trying to keep track, you know, of all these different live streams because they're not always titled specifically. And as well, I think maybe certain formats work better for me, like when you get these slightly structured interview videos. When it's too loose and it's like anything goes, it's more casual, it's like more relaxed, hanging out and stuff. But if you're trying to, you know, listen in and be time efficient, they're not the type of videos that work quite the same way. You get me? But just wanted to point it out to you, in case you weren't aware. Make sure, if you want to, you don't have to check out the Shack Ladies live stream, her recent one on her channel. It seems like she is back covering the Dylan Rounds case. Maybe not as frequent, but that's fine. Okay, it's just yet another person creating a bit of noise on the case, which I guess is a positive. It seemed like the Shack Lady also spoke with Jim Terry as well on that live stream. if I had to make any predictions right now, what would I say? I wouldn't be surprised if down the line it starts becoming a Jim Terry versus Pancakes with the Shack Lady caught up in the middle of it all. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens down the line, or if Ty Corbin ends up facing off with one of the two in between as well. Wouldn't surprise me, okay? I guess it just depends on the frequency of the Shack Ladies live streams, right, and who reaches out at the time, okay? Is there anything else to mention? I mean, the only other point I would say, and this is just like a general observation, there might be times, and it doesn't have to directly apply within the Dylan Rounds case, it can just be in general, but you might get it at times where a person might be very welcoming of receiving information. Oh yeah, sure, share it with me. Yeah, sure, do this. Sure, do that. But do they ever give it out? No, they hoard it. So I'll just mention that briefly. Like how I made a prediction in the past, how it could be some form of evolutionary competition within the likes of the Dylan Rounds case, whether it be directly solving it or just being at the top in some way, whether it be all the way through or up to a certain point, branching off, developing your own stuff and still remaining on top. I would say there's almost like probably a bit of competition as well with who's got the best sources of information, who's got the gold mine, who receives it all, who gets all the intel, but they don't seem to give it out. They'll ask, they'll welcome, they'll be passionate about receiving it, but when it comes to giving it, it's like, I'll give you an example. It's like, oh, you heard about that? Send me an email. Tell me. I'm interested to hear. Yeah, go on, do it. If it's the other way around, it'll be like, oh, what about this? Have you heard about this? Have you heard about that? Do you know anything? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I do, yeah. And? Oh, well, it's okay, yeah, I'll do a video someday, yeah. And it's like, why are you being such a tight arse? Well, can't apply to Weedleby, that's probably loose, that. You've seen the fucking size of it. But no, who am I talking to? No one. I'm just looking through the window because of the view, that's why. That's why I get distracted by the cat and the squirrel last time in the last video. But yeah, definitely a level of competitiveness with some humans, right? It's just one of those things. And you know what? Maybe if we look back retrospectively within the Kenny Veach case, a level of competitiveness kicking in, like almost like a delayed reaction, delayed grudges, delayed frustration, whininess, right? More whiny than Linda's wine collection, you know, something like that. And to be honest, when you think in general with the Dylan Rounds case, because it wasn't as bad with the Kenny Veach case, just the simple switching and changing of information, the facts have changed more times than Cleo has changed the colour of her hair dye. My God, what is going on here? And speaking of like dodgy things going on, like completely unrelated, but I remember there was a time in the past in high school when one guy who was like a friend said, would you eat me? Not in a gay way, it was just a random line, would you eat me? I kind of looked around, I looked up and down and I thought, you passed your sell-by date. No. I don't know what's going on, you know. It's fucking raw. Not good enough, okay? But, you know, these like little insults, ooh, I wouldn't say I'm the best. You know, you got Jim Terry, the way he words things on the spot, you know, high level, I would say, quite good. But, you know, it's like you come across some dodgy characters, the way they come in and make their presence known in the case, and it's like, do you know what? You like mouthwash. If I got a taste of you, I'd spit it out right away. Disgusting. Okay. But now that's out the way, I think we should just like move on to a few additional points, okay? And this is an interesting one. So when it comes to Michelle, Don't get mixed up with the other Michelle who's on Jim Terry's panel, okay? This Michelle is a different one. And I think they've been around for some time now within the Dylan Rounds case and watching my videos, so I appreciate that. Some people here and there thought Michelle was a default dodgy profile, one of those, but no, from what I know of, Michelle is okay. She's normal, okay? Yeah, but one interesting thing I did notice, new development, Michelle's profile picture has changed. I wonder what to. First of all, just a brief backstory to last video and Warlight Ref's transition, okay? Sure, it might have got Wes howling, okay? Things became inverted, pointing to the top like the tip of a church roof. Like, all kinds of unholy things happened, right? Just how it is, okay? You start splashing water in me now, I'm gonna start burning. That's how bad we've got, okay? Cleo Famous Op can do all the devil emojis as much as possible, but it's not going to cleanse me, okay? Past that stage by now. Though, Michelle did surprise me. That sounds a bit weird, that, with her profile pic change. And basically, she was like the architect behind the last video appearance. She was like, yeah, you should dress up as Kurt in drag. And it's like, you got it, right? Okay, got more than what you bargained for, probably. Okay, so Stoney with her demands of twitching the nose, be careful, might get more than what you bargained for there. And I'm worried too of what it could come out with. Oh my God. But yeah, let me show you the profile picture now. And I think we are onto something, okay? Let me show you. Okay, so here we are. I just wanted to use the live chat replay so you could see it. Does it stand out to you yet? Anything unusual? Just look. Look at one of the profile pictures that pops up quite often. We've got Steady Eddie, but, you know, he's not in question here. Well, if you haven't already seen it, it's Michelle C. Michelle C? What does that mean? Michelle Cooley? Oh no, is there a Cooley on my back? I don't know at this rate, but, you know, let's just stop for a second. So, here we are. There you go, that's Michelle. By the way, it's not a dodgy account. This person is part of the Kitty Cat Gang, okay? Maybe couldn't quite reach the Charles Manson reformed group status yet, but there's always time, okay? Don't worry, okay? Anyone and everyone is welcomed, even Weedleby, or should I say Needleby, okay? So you see the profile picture, that is a still screenshot of my face with their long flowing hair and the innocent look by Raffi. But it looks very, very similar to You Know Who. Let's just do a quick side-by-side comparison to set this conspiracy straight. And here we go. As you can see, wow. Just wow. Truly beautiful and attractive. The soft, smooth skin complemented by the silky, nice coloured hair and the alluring, beautiful eyes which shimmer in the light. A nice contoured nose too, and a cheeky little smile. And Brookie looks okay as well, I guess. Wow. But as you can see, visually, you know, very, very similar, okay? You know, the facial expressions, the eye contact, the slightly tilted head, like it's been stuck when the wind blew by. You know, like that type of thing. Trying to look innocent. Almost, how would you word it? Like the photo, the pose, captioned, Cash App, presented by me, Brookie. You know, something like that. This should become the new Cash App logo, okay? Or even PayPal. Stick my face on PayPal, okay? Because I'm just begging for it, aren't I? Yes, please. Can I have some more milk and cookies? And some carrots as well. My God, What am I turning into? What was it? Ashley. Ashley saying, "You're not turning into a prostitute." Is that so, Ashley? Look at me now! People are accusing me of wearing nipple clamps. And what extreme am I going to go to? What's next? I'm going to start blowing a banana? Well, actually, maybe. But, look, this is what I mean. Very similar. You can get easily misunderstood between who is who, right? Brookie, Raffy, Brookie, you know? One of those things, right? And no, I wasn't the one that came up with the name. It was Indiana, of course, because Indiana has all the right words to say, including the nicknames. So congratulations, Indiana. Look at what you have created, okay? Fantastic. But the only difference would be the chest area, okay? I'm not the sort of person to be caring in a care home and then I start suffocating people with my giant breast. No, I'm not the breast serial killer, okay? Okay, I don't measure in at all angles and lengths, okay? I'm not big everywhere. Calm down. My God, what do you expect? Demanding too much, yeah? Anyway, it's a good thing we haven't brought Weedleby into this comparison because, you know, nobody can compete with her. Okay, you got King Samoan, you got Kongzilla, you got Gorilla Jack. They all have individual qualities when it comes to size. Okay, the King Samoan, the size and load of all those food bags tending to the animals. Gorilla Jack, the size and strength of the banana, the mighty one. You know, those type of examples. With Weedleby, though, as she best described, okay? Do you know, like when you're in a car, okay? When it comes to Weedleby, if you're riding Weedleby like a horse, okay? Maybe because you can't afford a taxi, an Uber, okay? Don't worry about the brake system because Weedleby's bloody chest area will act as a fucking drag factor which will halt things, bring things to a stop real quick, okay? It's like a brake system. So Weedleby, once again, you are very multifunctional, okay? Big positive, okay? I'm sure Gorilla Jack is very pleased, okay? If Gorilla Jack, you know, his car's broken down and he needs to get away from an assassination attempt, I'm sure Weedleby can, you know, take care, okay? Weedleby the taxi service. Okay, Weedleby taxi service. Just like Kurt Wadsworth's Saddle Sore Bar, open 24/7. Maybe the same applies to Weedleby, maybe. Weedleby, are you open 24/7? I don't know, that's not my place to ask. But you get the idea. So if Weedleby came in here and it all came down to the comparison of the chest area, I would hate to see the cat fight. I mean, things would get beyond wild. Weedleby versus Brookie. Oh my God. Okay? You know, you can have all the tuna in the world. It's not going to calm the cats down. Okay? It will not. Even getting some fucking salmon. It's not enough. Okay, you need a whole fucking octopus. Octopus. I said it wrong. Oops, slip of the tongue. But you get the idea, okay? It's just one of those things. But what I do encourage, if you want to, oh my God. This could go very, very dodgy. So like how just when people see, oh no. So basically, like how Michelle did with her profile picture, if everyone got the same profile picture of this face zoomed in, oh my God. Just imagine if everybody turned up in the chat with the same profile picture, or if like everybody split off and went onto the other people's live stream channels and then saw that face. They'd be so confused. They'd be thinking, what the hell is that? I mean, it would cause so much confusion. You know, do it at your own risk if you want to. Oh my God, it'll be the reemergence of the pandemic of fake accounts all over again of me. It'll be a big misunderstanding and crossed wires most likely. But there we go. I think we should move on now, right? I think that's enough of Rafi. Okay, so tying in with a point just made before.
I'll be honest, I'll admit to you, I'm having issues with my banana.
Okay, it's just not quite as it used to be, okay? I think it needs blowing, okay? I'm gonna blow my banana and hopefully it will fix it. I mean, if any of you in the chat, you know, can do a better job, feel free to blow it yourself, you know? If you think your lips can get around it better, then go on, do so. Be my guest, okay? Your lips might be more rounded, maybe a little bit more rugged. It might have a bit more of a grip to it, like the inside of an octopus tentacle. I don't know. But if you think you have what it takes, feel free to blow Warlike Rasp Banana, okay? I'm gonna give it a try right now, okay? Because you can see it's deflating, and you know, this is not a good look, okay? You want to know why? The seriousness of this. This is a bargaining chip, okay? It was used and it was resolved when it came to Gorilla Jack in Uganda, the banana exchange. Though since, like, if there's any more conflicts down the line, we need it in good shape, right? Or it won't work. Maybe someday I can get an inflatable pancake, okay? That could be more useful. Less surface area, unlike Weedleby. But you've got the valve there, okay? I'm gonna try and blow it up. Probably not the best use of wording. Pull it out. Oh my God, it's so hard to pull out that hole. Why is it so tight? Oh my God, I can't get my hand into that hole. Oh, there we go. Pull it out, there we go. Better do it quick, it's gonna deflate quick. Get my lip around this banana. You gotta bite the tip as well. If you don't bite the tip, you lose the grip. Oh my God. This looks very, very awkward, but what else can be done? Yeah, the banana's getting really hard now. Get it in. Oh my God, it's slipped out the hole. Oh my God, the hole's wet. Oh my God, I'm slipping all over the place. Get it in. Shove it in. There we go. Wow. The banana is rock solid now. This is brilliant. Look at that. It's even increased in size. Nice. The tip is nice and hard now, as you can see. Oh, maybe not, it's a bit saggy, but it's harder than it was before, okay? Right? Why am I holding it like that? Ugh, I don't know. Calm down, Andrew. Calm down, Andrew. Whew, calm down. Wait, I just realised you got this neck rester, okay? Neck rester, banana holder. Yeah, new invention, the neck rester. Basically, you pop the banana through like this and it comes out the other end. You see? Like that. Pop it through. It's a little bit tight on the walls. The walls need to stop contracting, I would say. Push it through. Oh my God, there's a lot of tension, okay? There we go. And then once it's through, it's loose. There you go. Now, in what situation do you need a banana holder? I don't know, but this is the thing. The banana rolls about, you know, you've got to try and prop it up. But here, it's perfectly balanced, just like me. Okay? So when it comes to pulling it out, if you wanted to take it to the beach, you pull it out the banana holder like this. Oh, very loose at the tip. And there we go. Do you know, with these inventions, we are saving lives by the second. Though there might be a few people in chat right now having a high blood pressure, which, you know, I don't blame you, okay? It's understandable. Is there any more notes to talk about? Yes, there is, okay? So apologies about that just before, just wanted to cover it before I forget. We are now going to talk about another interesting discussion regarding the Dylan Rounds case and unfinished business in certain spots in recent time by Lance Kelly. Now, this can be a separate video in itself, okay? That's a possibility. I don't know how it would be constructed. If you have any ideas, feel free to share. Feel free to share them, okay? I might be thinking more of like a before and after, right? How are things being found now when they weren't back then? That type of thing, you know? We have noted it in some areas already, but to be a little bit more clearer, basically, recent time, Lance Kelly, as you know, he's been doing his searches for Dylan, like usual, which is good, consistent, even though it's winter, or it has been winter and been quite snowy, icy, ground hard, but continued, pushed through it, right? Which is a good thing, right? You know, you got to acknowledge it, at least just for the effort, at least, end of the day. And, you know, I think he's found some bits and bobs along the way. He's found some bones, but it's that typical, probably an animal bone. But I can understand some humans down the line, maybe Candice Cooley once again and some others, and Doug complaining, saying, oh, look, he's finding all these bones, but he's not doing anything about them, or, oh, he's handling them the wrong way. And it's like, well, you know, if you've noticed it in a video, right, or when you're recording, you obviously put in a title because it's like an item of interest at the end of the day, right? If there is limited evidence with what you're working with, as for remains of Dylan, you know, any item found can be of some value, though with time maybe reoccurring findings of similar items which turn out to be nothing but a animal remain, animal bone, it could lose that mysteriousness behind it. But there's no harm, because what about that day, that one day you write it off and say, oh, there's a bone again, who cares, whatever. And on that one day it turned out to be maybe Dylan's femur bone, Dylan's collarbone, who knows? It's like, once you start, the moment you stop, that's when something happens. And if you pass that, you might miss it, okay? Just, you know, people documented it with the M cave, how they kept, you know, looking for it, even though it wasn't the one, but they found a one, okay? Just like with this whole wash situation, checking out the wash or checking out a wash, which one? How many? Okay, there is that. So, yeah, Lance Kelly, we heard his plans through winter continuing, that he was going to have a presence in Lucin, correct? We're looking around there, including the mine shafts. And I think there was some footage, sure, of him out there, right? But I don't know if it's still an ongoing thing. I assume it would be, because you can't look through all the mines and mine shafts in that short space of time, right? But I have noticed recently been the odd video of Lance back in Montello, and it's like, oh, I thought you were continuing with Lucin, but maybe it's the weather, maybe it's just busy work on the farm as what they're doing, or maybe it's because of the background stuff, such as the search, the cadaver dog, that like donation page, how they're trying to raise money for it, okay? Still ongoing, set up different pages and then adding it accumulative with time, and they've kind of like discussed it, how they're going to use it. I think, is it North Carolina or Carolina, somewhere around there, where Lance is going for the training with the dog, get used to it, you know, and that's maybe slow progress, learn the tricks, the techniques, and then start looking for a missing person in that area or nearby, and then eventually transition back to finding Dylan Rounds or Susan Powell or is it Tommy Novak, etc. So there is a plan in place, which is good, right? Because if there was only one plan, one missing person, and they were found, you could be like, oh, what do you do now? But this is the thing, once you have that resource, it's, you know, kind of invaluable, if that's the correct wording. Or like, once you get a drone which can look for soil disturbance, you can still use it for other means and other people. So that's the only positive you could like use to counter the people that might be negative towards the whole idea of the donation part with the dog. So there is that. Anything else? Yeah. As for James Brenner's same person. Trailer, the burnt down one in Montello, Nevada. It looks as if Lance has revisited the place numerous times now. I mean, it kind of makes sense, like within the area, not too far away, check on in, see if anything's changed. The same's been done with mine shafts, so there's no harm in double checking. But it feels as if things have changed. The environment has been altered with time. That's what makes it interesting, right? Now, to an extent, it makes sense, right? Because the police presence, the police investigation took place there previously, some months ago. So the odd thing might have been taken away, the odd bit of tape might have been found since, but it's the stuff that happened just before it and after it, right? The stuff just before it, and we're talking about back then, when you saw the track marks by like some kind of ATV, and it's like, well, who's responsible for that? Still to this day, no one has owned up or explained that the mystery track marks at Brenner's burnt down trailer. There is also supposedly shovels slightly moved or dug into the ground, holes in the ground, like someone was prodding away, inspecting. And sure, you know, if you thought that, let's say you were under the impression that the police investigation took place before that, you could say, oh, well, it's just the remains of their presence, track marks because they brought vehicles down, I guess. Some items moved about because the police were inspecting the ground and using the radar penetrating system stuff and equipment and using sniffer dogs. You could say, oh, okay, that explains it. But obviously that did not happen. The investigation took place after that. There was already stuff there in place. So who else has been there since? That's the question. And we fast forward to recent time now with Lance heading back there. And as I said, we can do a proper, like, deeper side-by-side comparison or try and explain what was talked about then, what wasn't, but what has been now, okay? And what has been talked about more recently by Lance in the area is some kind of like blue bag or something found wrapped in a tree or bush, but it's like been tied round, wrapped by someone for whatever reason. Don't exactly know why. And I think what Lance was trying to describe was it didn't like blow by the wind and then get caught up in it. It was actually tied and knotted. And it's like, why would you need to do that? Okay. There's no like mines or mine shafts nearby, so you're not tying a rope to descend into a hole. Are you using it to pull a vehicle out of the ground or the mud? Did something get stuck? Is that why that roller bar or that silver bar related to an ATV vehicle was found like dumped in the ground? Possibly some kind of link. Something got stuck in the mud. What are your thoughts on that, right? And then I think the latest thing that Lance found was some crime scene or evidence tape found, I guess, caught up in a bush. Now that could well be by the police. I'd have to check the video out thoroughly, okay? But I just wanted to talk to you briefly about it to spread some awareness, okay? So it gives you a chance to be able to watch it yourself, and then we can regroup afterwards, right? And then see if it's worth covering in a video, okay? But I think the overall question and theme is, if it's an area where over time the environment is altered with, you got to ask yourself why, truly why, okay? Is it just locals visiting, checking it out themselves out of interest? Is it locals trying to get scrap metal, salvage whatsoever left? If that really was the case, don't you think it would have happened a year ago when the trailer burnt down in the first place, when the locals would have seen the flames in the sky and maybe the sound of an explosion, right? Wouldn't have people rushed down there 1 year ago to retrieve any metal, any propane tanks, anything of value, whatever it might be, lawnmower? Did they? So why is it just happening now? Who else could it be? And why? What's the whole point? I mean, you can say it's like a landmark. It's become a landmark. First of all, it's been recorded, documented, investigated officially, mentioned in the news and probably the TV channels nearby, locally, maybe in some newspapers, and just local talk. And, it's been passed on, right? So there's been a awareness spread of the area. So for people that may have not known about it, they do now. And for others that might have heard about it, they think it's of interest all of a sudden. So they all come down individually, or a small group do, and do something whilst they're there. Take stuff or add things to it. And that's why it's a little bit weird. Now, this is not a first for me. When it came to the Kenny Veach case, such as the mine shaft, although it's a desolate, quiet, empty place and not many hikers go there, with time, a couple did. But it was the mystery here and there of who was responsible for this and that. Why did that rock, the heavy rock, get pulled away? Who could have done that and why? Why was the mine shaft covered up and why previously was it damaged? Was it sabotaged? With time, it was resolved. A fair few of those things, okay? But it was just that concept of, because it was recorded and it was documented and it was uploaded to YouTube, anybody that was listening in or watching took note, right? Whether it be to do something negative, do something secretive, or just to get involved themselves. Good, bad intentions, right? It can happen. So it makes me think, is the same happening here right now within the Dylan Rounds case, right? You might have the odd posse of people going about burying stuff, setting up a scene to make it seem like it's something of interest. If we just word it briefly, Candice Cooley was the one that mentioned it in a past interview, and I can't remember which one it was. It might be before the Heavy D one, where Candice was saying, isn't it interesting how, you go to all these places, you've got these searchers and explorers, and they keep finding this, finding that, and it was never there to begin with. So they must just be adding it themselves to turn it into something that it's not, to make it seem like there are new evidence found when it was never there to begin with. And it makes you think, why? And it's interesting this, okay? It is actually interesting this when I think about it more. We were talking about the reward money at the start, right? How for a small brief spell, the likes of Kurt reporting in with supposed intel of Dylan, not true in the end, but opportunistic behaviour, maybe to get the money. Ever since, not much has happened. But, okay, it might not all be direct fakeness leading in hopes of claiming reward money, but if it is true, and what Candice Cooley has said, that there are certain YouTubers or locals planting stuff here and there, recording it, acting surprised, and maybe trying to reach out to others, that's an indirect way of trying to benefit, right? Covertly. How could you benefit like that? Well, maybe it's to get more views on YouTube, or to become more established, mainly more credible, right? To set it up in that way. And then maybe externally be able to reach out to family members and say, look what I found, and might benefit there. You've seen it with YouTubers, right? Paranormal channels where they create fake paranormal stuff to make it seem like it's real. The British YouTubers that explore abandoned buildings and creepy places and then make it seem like they found blood, that they found a hospital with a dead body inside, and it's a load of bullshit and it's been faked and scripted. But they do it in that way so they can make it seem real. So maybe the same's happening in the true crime area, an actual crime scene, or trying to make it seem like a possible crime scene or a place of interest, right? And maybe this all links back to Brenner's trailer, right? Whether it be people trying to further reinforce or maybe put the blame on Brenner by maybe burying something at Brenner's property, former property, I should say. Apologies if we are bouncing around, okay? This right now is an example of something that needs a dedicated video, okay? So I will try to do that someday, okay? I will try, but I just want to do a poll right now. And apologies if I am a bit abrupt. For some reason, I have a bit of a outside of the box prediction, okay? Or some kind of possible prediction. This one's a bit more sketchy, okay? So just be aware. And it ties in with a poll. I feel like I wouldn't be surprised if Brenner's burnt down trailer is almost like a spot marker, a key marker within the case, a place which is associated with Brenner due to it being a place where Brenner once lived and once may have buried the odd bit of junk there. So because it once belonged to him, and because there's been recent activity at that site since, and not by Lance supposedly speaking, or Ty, whoever else it could be, the mysterious person, I wouldn't be surprised if someone tried burying an item, a belonging of Brenner, or a key piece of evidence which is associated with Dylan, but putting it on Brenner's former land, former place of living, to make it seem like Brenner's responsible for it. Now, is there any way it would be successful if the police have already explored and searched the area and found nothing how it was worded? Then could someone afterwards then bury something and then do a tip-off for the police to go down? No, it would seem suspicious then, right? Because if they already know that Brenner's locked up at the moment, and they would know someone else has planted it there since, and then the blame would get shifted onto someone else. But if you do it covertly, and you don't leave any prints, and the only prints are of Brenner, it's like an anonymous tip-off, in a way, handing in a key piece of evidence, but not directly. Because if you go walking into a police station, a department or something, saying, here's the gun, or here's a bone fragment of Dylan or something, or here's his cap, and it might have prints of someone else, like Brenner, then you could be questioned. Where did you find it? How long have you known about it? And obviously, if you aren't in on it, you're not going to put yourself in that position, right? So the second best thing to do is to plant it somewhere and obviously make sure you've got no prints on, and then maybe call someone or get someone else to call the police, or try and whisper it to someone else's ear, and then it tracks on, travels around the community, right? And then someone goes down to look, because why else would people be poking around the ground, poking holes and adding stuff and tying things to branches? Like, what's going on there? Is there a deeper reason? I know Joy Perry has been like talking something about how the trailer of Kurt's or something, that's where Dylan's hidden underneath. And people way back in the past were saying that at Dylan's trailer, that's where Dylan is actually buried underneath, under the ground, or under his truck. Is there a possibility that Dylan was buried under Brenner's old burnt down trailer? Probably not, because you've got to move it. It just wouldn't be practical if it's burnt down. It's all twisted metal. Not going to work. You would have seen soil disturbance anyway, right? But if someone's desperate, they might try and plant something there. So what I'm going to do now, although it was a bit of a long-winded poll, or breaking into it, I'll ask you now, do you think there is possible activity, dodgy, or future dodgy activity at Brenner's burnt down trailer? Yes, no. Wanted it to be vague so you can really think about it, okay? Share your thoughts down below. So that's a video you'd like to see a closer look at that, because we have done the odd video previously of unfinished business of a certain area. We can maybe do it again with Brenner's burnt down trailer, maybe. Okay. Anything else? the timeline, okay? Quinton, under control. Michelle, under control. Joseph, whoever that was asking for it, it's under control. I can present it in a video, okay? Now, the only negative is not all the text fits on the screen, okay? It looks like portions of sentences or paragraphs are missing. So it could be very muddled up, but I can share it with you anyway. Take in mind, I am doing it on mobile, so that could be it. But I checked on PC as well, the computer with a bigger screen and it can handle it and stuff. And it was still missing the text on that like spreadsheet, if you want to call it that, okay? There's not much I can do. Maybe Quinton can possibly fix it, but what I'll do, just to keep things rolling, hopefully the next video I make should cover it, okay? It was like 17 pages. There's a lot of text. So I might not be able to analyze it all in one video. I'll read through it all, just so you can hear it, see it, whatever, okay? Whether you're watching or you're just listening in the background, I'll read it out to you and try and make sense of it, a timeline. It looks like it goes back quite a while, okay? Doesn't seem to be any resistance regarding the timeline, okay? You might wonder, what do you mean by that? But I've got it under control. You know, first of all, Quinton, he's okay with it. And then the odd other person's okay with it. So just wanted to make sure, just in case. So nothing's compromised. So that seems to be okay. Timeline, I'll try and upload next. It looks much deeper than what's been done before. As for like visually speaking, okay, so credit to Quinton in advance, okay, and we will get to that. Now, we don't stop there because I think it's time for that surprise. You remember what I said at the start of this video? The surprise of all these activities people have been getting up to within the chat.
Some of the key individuals. I think we should begin and, explore, right?
All right, man, to kick things off, we've got Weedleby, daily activity, driving the car, shifting the gears into motion, whilst scarcely looking around for a walking duck so she can record it and upload it to TikTok. I already know what you're doing, Weedleby. I'm already on your case, and I can see by your facial reactions you can't keep your eyes off that steering wheel because pocketed nearby, you've got your phone on a tripod watching my video. And just look at you right now, driving across that field, that farmland. I hope you're not disturbing the evidence of Lucin. Look at all those track marks, Weedleby. I think you've done a lot of mileage. I think you're responsible for all those track marks and evidence, man. How could you, Weedleby? Speaking of which, we got Joseph Lloyd whipping out his baguette like a true man. Oh my god, why are you tearing it in half? You don't snap your baguette. That's painful, man. Can't believe you just done that. God, what? Why are you having a baguette fight with Famous Up? Learn to handle your food appropriately. Not like that, it's floppy. And speaking of Famous Up, no, I have not forgotten you. Look at you with your pink little PS5 controller, having loads of fun. Sorry, gamer girl time. I'm apologizing. I'm late to your premiere. I'm too busy playing Fortnite. I'm winning all my games, but my best buddy is failing by the side of me. Lol. And let's not forget Linda, doing extreme X game mode sport. My God, I wondered what she did in her past time. I remember she said something about her husband nearly ran her over in a snowmobile or crashed into some snow. By God! That was a close call. You better make sure your husband doesn't crash into your wine cellar or he's spending the night on the chair for 12 weeks straight. I don't even blame you, Linda, at this point. You've got my sympathy. And look at you complaining about the snow and the cold weather. And all along, you were secretly enjoying it with your snowmobile and building pretty little snowmans. Oh my God, Linda, you're such a creative soul. You're an inspiration to this community. You go, girl. Oh, Linda? Why are you running? Why are you running away from me? What are you doing with that bottle? I was trying to compliment you. This is rude. You should look at me when I'm talking to you. My God, that was such a bitchy move. Can't even believe that. Oh, I understand, Linda. You were in a hurry to fill those glasses. Yeah, don't even fill them half full. Fill them really low down to make it seem like it's for everyone, because sharing is caring, but not when Linda's around. When she's in town, it's all on her. Though, what about the food? Ah, that's right, pancakes. That will do. No, no, do not squirt that on. It's going to make the pancakes soggy. No, you're massacring it like KFC and Burger King's. Rest in peace, pancakes. But we do have a Glitter Galaxy with a very strong grip and stable hand. She knows how to squirt cream on a chocolate log. Look at that accuracy. Wow. Glitter Galaxy, you're doing well. But where did you get that whipped cream from? Because I've not seen any since, right? All the people donating the milk, the carrots, the cookies. Where has the whipped cream been all this time? Did you steal it? Damn, just look at King Samoan with his king-size pit bull profile picture, the dog in mourning because he didn't get his doggy treats. Just look at it, what a sad sight to see. Someone pass me a tissue, please, because it's getting very emotional here. Also, let's check in on Wes. Yo, Wes, how you doing, boy? Yeah. Don't give me that look, Wes, with your tongue out. I think you're looking at the wrong person. Yes, you know what I mean. Just look at poor Indiana. She won $500,000 on a scratch card, and then she lost the ticket. Poor Indy. And speaking of other girls, we've got the user named Smokey with the profile picture of her and a dog saying she was going to take up yoga once again. Oh my God, that's great. Damn. You're flexible. I didn't know you could get into that position. Wow. We also have background footage of Cleo's special workouts, making sure to squat deep to exercise the legs. Come on, girl. Keep going. Do not stop. Give it one more rep. Come on. Last Saturday, Brian Reeves participated in the National Bull Riding Competition. It was a wild time for him. You can see him gripping on for dear life, making sure not to fall off. It was a riot, man. Even the bull was having a great time. Look at it, flopping all about. My God, it's just kicking all over the place. No, Brian, don't fall off. Hold on to dear life. No, don't let go. Have hope, man. It's never over till you fall. Oh, no. This is a disaster, man. The event's going to be called off. I bet that bull was done for TRT. God! That was a near-death experience as well. That might as well appear on number 5 during a bull riding competition. And a guy called Brian was nearly trampled on. The bull was waggling all over the place, as well as other things too. Now, just yesterday, I received secret inside footage of Gorilla Jack's whereabouts in South Africa. You can see him looking very dodgy and suspicious. I wonder what's on his mind aside from Weedlebee's ass. And in other news, Mini Me admitted that she was going to freeze her pepperoni and then whip me with it. How could she do something so sadistic? And because she's in the presence of a knife cutting it too, I really better keep my legs crossed.
So wow, some of you people in the chat have been very, very busy recently. What other activities do you partake in? Oh, you're keeping it a secret. Okay, for now. Another thing I had to ensure to do was those videos was change the filter, because although they're copyright free to begin with, you know how YouTube and third-party websites can be, claiming this, claiming that when it's not even their own. I've experienced that. Though the odd slight sacrifice was with Cleopatra's clip doing her workout, there was no filter used there because, girl, you're fine just as you are, Cleo. Don't even deny it. Oh my God, if you even try and deny it, that's rude, okay? Look up to the light. Exactly. The light shines upon you all. Yeah. Not quite my forehead, though. Oh my God, this really makes me look like the shape of an egg. Interesting. Anyway, with that all in mind, as said, it was more of a brief, casual discussion today, okay? We went heavy, we went deep yesterday. You don't want to be doing that every single day because it's really not practical, both for the viewer and obviously the person creating the videos. But shout out and credit to all the people in the live chat who managed to juggle their schedule around when it comes to watching and participating in other people's live streams out there. Some people handle it quite well, and you know, some videos can be very long, so people are doing a good job being able to have the stamina there. So seems to be all working out. I think everyone must be taking the horse pills now. My God, we got some competition. And as for KFC and all those other places and motels, they will return. Don't you worry, okay? You know, we can't rush things, right? So hopefully you enjoyed this video and you're interested for the upcoming more focused Dylan rounds ones, including the timeline, okay? So we'll see when that drops, if there's anything else in between. And I'll say for now, goodbye, good night, and I'll see you next time, whenever that is.